IIT is not the number one university in the world that is not being even graded as an Ivy League, because they are checking your EQ. IQ they have seen in your resume. Anytime we are applying without SAT, the top universities used to mail the student that explain under what circumstances you are not being able to keep the examination. MIT, Stanford is not an Ivy League. It is a top university, but still not Ivy League. The validity of the SAT score is 5 years. And the beauty is that the 10th mathematics and the SAT mathematics complements each other. Double preparation, no loss.
Hello everyone. Welcome to another very interesting podcast, and we have a very interesting guest today in our office. So we have been looking at data, and one data that is surprising me is many students are now preparing for exams like SATs, ACTs, and that's where I thought that why there is a sudden rush in students for preparing for these exams? Has something fundamentally changed? And that's why today we have invited Ms. Rupali, who is an Associate Director at Eduquest, which is an organization that helps in preparation for these exams. Hi Rupali, how are you?
Hi, all good. Thank you.
Thanks for taking out time and joining us today. So Rupali, in this 1 hour or 30-minute conversation, we are going to primarily discuss that for a student who is currently in 10th class or 11th class, or for a parent whose child is in this stage, how do they take decision, right? That whether they should go for preparation for IIT, JEE, SAT, ACT. And that's going to be my first question to you as well. How to decide that, whether I should prepare, like for example, when I was in my 10th class, I went to Kota for IIT, JEE coaching, and I prepared for JEE. At that point in time, nobody told me that there is an exam called SAT. I don't know. I cracked IIT Kanpur. I might have cracked MIT as well. But I did not know back then that there is an exam called SAT. I could prepare for it. Today, things are changing. People are becoming more informed about options available to them. Now, obviously, then they have to take more options. Means you have to take a decision that, you have to go to this direction or that direction. So that's my first question to you, that how to take this decision. I should prepare for JEE or should I prepare for SAT, ACT?
There has been a very famous debate. You would have heard about it. There should be a choice between the MIT or IIT and what the student would do. And that debate has been popped up in a very famous forum that has been addressed by the professors from the Harvard and the MIT and the IIT also. And that actually popped up a few years before, when a IIT Bombay student rejected IIT Bombay because of the MIT.
I know that story, right?
Yeah,
I heard about
and
that.
Since then, there has been more and more awareness among the students and the parents. Yes, there was a lack of awareness about the SAT is being there. What is the process to get into MIT and a Stanford and the other Ivy Leagues that is in the world? IIT is not the number one university in the world that is not being even graded as an Ivy League. And IIT has been graded as the toughest, examinations in the whole world. And the MIT laughed at this point. And the reason behind this is the ROI. Return on investment. If you are investing this much of X amount with your energy, efforts, for the IIT, is the ROI equal to what the MIT is being able to give a student, the kind of future, the no saturation kind of career. If MIT is being able to provide that, yes, MIT is able to provide that and IIT not. And the way towards the top Ivy Leagues university of the world or the other top 30 to 50 universities of the world is highly, like we can say, tough enough in comparison to get into the IIT. Why? Because to get into the IIT, you just have to understand the mathematics, physics, chemistry. They are not going to deep into the student to know the personality of a student. And the top universities of the world says that, hey, we are not looking for the academic scholars. We are looking for a student whom we can nurture to be a future leader who can lead the whole world. So that's why even the admission procedure is different for the top universities. They have introduced so many universities essays which do not at all talk about the technical stuff. Technical stuff like how much marks you are getting, how many certifications, Olympiads you have done. Academic excellence, yes, they are looking for, but apart from that, if you are falling short on your resume, which is like profile building, what extra you have done? Are you being able to manage your time well? Then university essays. University essays is going to test the students' EQ. Okay, they are going to talk about the questions like, hey, let's talk about your spectacular failure. Let's talk about your greatest commitment in your life. Because they want to know you as a person. Once they are confident that they can nurture you to be a future leader, to lead the world, to bring something new into the world, yes, you can be their student.
I could understand what you're saying. The efforts that you put in and the money that you put in getting into IIT versus the same effort, same money that you put in to get into one of the top 30, 50 colleges of the world, the ROI will be more as compared to getting into IITs out there.
Yes, absolutely.
So obviously, as you mentioned that in India, the JEE or IIT, they are primarily looking at if you can solve these questions, these complex questions, and they're looking at more of logical reasoning for the student. Whereas the application process in the top universities is more holistically. So then is the preparation also different? Like when somebody is preparing for admission to undergrad for Ivy League or top colleges versus somebody preparing for JEE. So what is the difference in the preparation?
Lot of difference. See, in order to crack to any, Indian universities, now the Indian universities has also started accepting SAT. The very good universities like you would have heard about the names like SP Jain, Narsi Monji, then there is OP Jindal, Palashka, Thapar, many others, good university, Kriya, VIT, they have been taking SAT. Okay. The preparation varies, yes, because again, if you are targeting the other, you can see the Ivy League, the top universities of the world, then you have to manage your time. You have to add some leadership initiatives in your profile. The leadership initiatives talks about what extra you could do. See, as a student, it is your duty to be a good student, discipline, good marks, everything. Okay. And if you are targeting top universities of the world, then you have to add some other things, some volunteering you can say. It is altogether a volunteering. It can be you're volunteering in the NGO. It can be any self-made projects, okay, in order to show your acumen and your interest. It is not about the college readiness. It is about your time management and your, endeavor towards your passion. It can be a gardening. If you can be a best ballerina in the whole, among your friends. Okay, you can be a good teacher. You can be a best guitarist or the, piano player.
So you need to show excellence in
again, when the universities in their university essays, they are trying to know you as a person. They are trying to know about what kind of, problems you had to face in any point of your time. It can be emotional, very emotional things they want to know because they are checking your EQ. IQ they have seen in your resume. IQ is okay. They are keeping it aside. They want to know you as a person on the basis of that only. That's why university essays plays a very important role, very key component for the admissions.
So this exam, SAT, how different is that from JEE? Like in SAT, is it also logical reasoning? What comes in SATs? I have no idea around that.
Very interesting question, and I would love to talk about it. See, the examinations like the SAT, ACT, or GMAT, GRE, these are being prepared by the authorities just not to be a filtration, to help the university in the filtration process.
Okay.
It is not merely, let's talk about the most difficult question and let's see how intelligent this student is. No, they are not interested in that. That is why the questions are not that difficult. They have their own way of asking. Each and every question has been well researched. And this is the reason that the examinations like the SAT, ACT, GMAT, GRE has been accepted by the top universities of the world, not the IIT JEE.
Okay.
Not the JEE.
Right.
You know, this is the reason, because they are helping these universities who are looking for the future leaders or nurturing a future leaders. They are helping them finding those kind of candidates.
So what is the format of SAT?
Only English, mathematics, GMAT, GRE, SAT, ACT, mathematics and English. But again, it is not just for the sake of asking a question. Each and every question is research based. These are being, see, in a GMAT, they are asking about RC, CR. Okay, in a SAT, there are two portions of the English, reading and writing. Writing is based upon grammar. Reading is based upon critical reading skills, again, CR.
Right. Okay,
if you are able to understand what this question is saying, and then there are the options available, and in those options available also, always, technically if you will go, technically, always two questions would be correct. You have to find the most nearest one.
Right.
So this is where they are well researched. Like when they say this is the most difficult question in the question paper, it is not because they felt that it is difficult.
Okay.
It has been thrown to the people. They will do the primary research on that. And if the more than 60%, 60% or more than 60% answer is wrong, then it would be branded as the difficult question.
Correct.
This is why, this is the reputation of these examinations. It has been always there. It will always be there. Even in COVID, when the examination centers were closing down, okay, they used to take up the dates from the, in SAT we have seen, they used to take up the dates, centers, and then 2 days before they say, okay, we are closed.
Correct.
Okay, the universities took a decision to make these examinations optional, but in reality it was not. Because we were applying for the sake of our students, we were helping the students in the applications. Anytime we are applying without SAT, the top universities used to mail the student that explain under what circumstances you are not being able to give the examination. Now, to reply, only words would not be enough. You have to attach the proof that, ma'am, see, this is my admission ticket, this is the cancellation, twice I have done it, and now there is no time, this is the deadline, I had to apply without SAT.
Correct.
So this means it is just for the namesake. Even in the university's websites, if you will go, they had clearly written that if you are applying with SAT, it will help us in taking a decision. If you are applying without SAT, it will like put us in a more lengthier process. It shows that the importance of this examination. Now, last year, all the Ivy Leagues, the Yale started it, and all the Ivy Leagues has made it mandatory now.
Got it. So, one question you mentioned many exams. Like the two prominent exam that I keep hearing is SAT and ACT. So, what is the difference between these two? Like, are they the same or are they solving the same purpose?
The purpose is same. The value in eyes of the university is same. Okay. But the examination structure is different.
Okay.
In SAT, now it is been digital.
Yeah. Okay.
I have seen so many changes, it's a constant learning process also. That is the reason it has been a constant learning process. In 2016, from the 20024 has been the total score of the SAT. In 2016, it became 1600. Okay. Earlier, there used to be a negative marking. In 2016, they deleted the negative marking. It had your maths, English, okay, and then the one essay, like critically you need to review it, okay. And in a mathematics, they had two portions, calculator, no calculator.
Okay.
Okay. Then in 2021, they deleted the essay part. And they gave the explanation also. College board gave the explanation that when the university is asking so many universities as well, what is the need to, to see your critical writing skills. Right. They will see it. Right. Then they made there were only two portions, English and maths. Okay. Then in 2024, by 2023, they made it digital. When they made it digital, they removed the calculator portion, no calculator portion. Now every mathematics, one portion with calculator, and there is an inbuilt calculator in that is called Desmos.
Got it. So this is in SAT.
This is in SAT.
So what happens in ACT then?
In ACT there are three portions. One is English, mathematics with calculator, and third is called the science section. In a science section, it is only for the namesake. In actual, it is a data munching portion. We can say the IR of the GMAT, the lower form of the IR, data munching. Only the question would be in the language of science, like chemical, and there was this problem in the town. This is the data. You just have to mean, median, mode, all that.
So more students take SAT or more students take ACT?
Interesting question. All the Asians will go for SAT. Why? Because their mathematics is stronger. Okay. And all the other people, you can say the US citizens, okay, they will go for the ACT, because the marks, 36 marks has been distributed among three portions. So the maths, the weightage of the maths will go lower, obviously. Right. And in the Asians who are good with the SAT, with the mathematics, they want to leverage their stronger point. Because the 1600 marks has been divided into two portions. Yes, the weightage is more onto the English part, lesser onto the maths part, but still they do not need to, think twice when the maths is there.
Okay. So what is the good score in SAT? Like, is it 1500, 1400? Like
anything,
to get into top 10?
Anything touching 1500 is good. Any student, our student with the score of 1510 is reading in University of Pennsylvania, the top university of the world.
Okay. And do students get full marks as well, like 1600 out of 1600? Just curious.
1590.
1590
we have seen has been repeatedly achieved by our student and has been fabulous. 1540, 1570, 40, above 1500.
But to get into, let's say, MIT, I know you mentioned University of Pennsylvania as the top in undergrad, but MIT is more famous. So just trying to understand from that perspective, let's say somebody wants to get into top 5, 7. So what is the score they need to sort of target? That I need this much, then my cutoff to get into these universities will get clear. Because there are other factors as well.
That's a myth again.
Okay.
See, I just give an example. My student who scored 1570 is reading in Georgia Tech, which is not an Ivy League. My student who scored 1510 is reading in University of Pennsylvania, which is an Ivy League. MIT, Stanford is not an Ivy League. It is a top university, but still not Ivy League. Okay. Now again, when you are trying to get into the university, 4 factors is going to play a major role.
Okay.
If your score is 1590, you have been a spectacular student in your school, your essays is okay, your profile is looking mediocre, you cannot get into MIT.
So
Stanford,
score alone cannot get me into
grades alone are not enough.
Right. That's why I asked that.
Yes.
Then what is the respectable score? Like, is it 1500?
1500 is a respectable
1500
score.
Is a respectable score. So after that, it is your essay, your profile.
Yes. There is no cutoff. They can take a 1450 student also if the profile is great enough. The same theory goes for the GMATians also.
Correct. And can students prepare for JEE and SATs together? Like
yes. Most of the students are doing it.
Okay.
And we have seen them doing good in their life. And, they try their luck in both of them. Okay. And we have seen students leaving SAT for the IITs. and we have seen students leaving IIT for the SAT, but yes, they are taking, while preparing, they are taking them together simultaneously.
And that's a good strategy, like to start with both.
It's going to complement each other.
Okay.
It's not something that we are going to teach you Japanese and they are going to teach you Chinese.
Right.
Algebra, same arithmetic, but yes, English that you are learning in SAT, that will help you in scoring good in your school examination English scores also.
Got it.
So this is good.
Makes sense. See, still I have this feeling, and correct me if I'm wrong, that SATs are still for the students who are good in academics. Like usually I don't see a mediocre, let's say somebody who scored 70%, 60% in 10th. They will go to quota for prepare for JEE, but they will not have SATs in their mind, is what I have seen around, actually, at least in my era, where even the students from my school in my hometown, there were students who had 50, 60, 70% in their 10th, 9th class, and after that they went for JEE preparation in quota, right? Whereas I have not seen people or students from that score range, 60%, 50%, preparing for SATs. And that led me to believe that SATs are for toppers. Is that the correct understanding?
No, not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
See, suppose you are a 10th grader and you have scored 60%. Okay. You do not have to compromise your dreams on the basis of these scores. I just give an example. We have seen students, the toppers and the topmost students has been our student, 98, 99, 97. We have been hearing this only. And they are into SAT. Okay.
Okay.
Any student who are not putting effort for the SAT mathematics, I'm just giving one example as of now.
Right.
If your 10th score in mathematics is 99, 99.9, you are not putting a good effort in a SAT mathematics, you are going to have a very bad scores in the SAT. Okay. Because you can be a good crammer for the board examinations, you would be able to score good. But for the SAT, GMAT, GRE, they will do this differentiation that you have been actually a good learner or not. We have seen the student who are getting 70% in the 10th grade, they are getting very good score in SAT because they have this.
So it's more about if you can learn.
Learn, and also your, you can say, logical mind, the kind of common sense that you apply in your daily life. You are actually smart here. You are not a crammer. We have seen a students like who says we can cram. I have to understand it first in order to crack it. These examinations are for them. You would be able to differentiate between these two kinds of students. And this has been a very, very interesting discovery that we have seen.
So you have been working with Eduquest for more than 8-9 years now.
Yes.
And Eduquest, primarily what I could understand is helping students with this examination preparation. Can you tell me, first of all, what led to the Eduquest, what is the story behind Eduquest, and how Eduquest is different, or what is your methodology that lead to a higher success ratio as compared to any other place where students are preparing for these exams?
See, when I graduated from MDI, I put my first step into the professional world by joining Education Week for around 1.5 to 2 years. At that point of time, I was actually looking for something which could really resonate with me.
Okay.
I was not happy with the career path that, that was there with me at that point of time. When I transitioned into Eduquest, then, this education industry took me to an unexpected roller coaster ride because it was full of daily challenges, constant learning, and soon this experiment turned into a passion. The more I was getting engaged with the students, counseling process, learning about the applications also, meeting new and new universities, the more I discovered that how dynamic it could be. Every student is different. They are coming with a different problems. We had to find out the solutions. And this is where I found that this is so dynamic and full of, learning, and that this experience made it satisfying.
Okay.
So when the student, it is not about, imparting a knowledge or education to the student, it is about shaping futures.
Yeah.
Any student, you have to guide them. And we have seen, I have met so many parents who still calls me up and says, see, my son, my daughter is doing this now after being graduated from the university, and we are happy that you guided us rightly and that made us change our paths. Okay, so this is where, you feel like it just makes your day, it makes your day, and you feel that yes, you are being able to shape someone's future.
Yeah, so the second part of the question was that how Eduquest is different, like what is your methodology that is leading to higher success ratio for the students?
In 2016 to 2017,
yeah,
when I was actually researching the marketplace, I was looking how the other providers are doing it. I made a major change in the Eduquest offering.
Right.
What the other providers had been doing, and many of them has copied us now for that. The kind of course structure, when any students comes to you for the SAT preparation, it is very obvious that they would be needing IELTS, like the language proficiency testing. They would be needing help with the applications, because applications are so complicated with the university essay, then the LORs, and how the CV should look like, what the profile building is, and most of the students were lacking this.
Right.
Okay. Now, what the SAT other providers were doing, they had a hefty charge for the SAT preparation. Then the IELTS different charges. University applications also different charges, and they used to count how many university, how many essays, okay, and this much charges. It would go into lakhs. We made a package that if SAT student has enrolled with us, essay writing, application assistance, profile building guidance, and the language proficiency testing preparations would come complimentary. No charges extra.
But what is the cost of preparation for SAT, let's say for 2 years?
Again, it can be more than 2 years. If any student comes to you in their 10th grade, 10th grade starting, they join you for the SAT prep. It's going to be for 2.5 years, 3.5 years, you can say. The 10th will go. Okay, the 10th graders are going for the SAT preparations because the syllabus of the SAT and the 10th grade syllabus mathematics complements each other.
Okay.
Again, the SAT that you will be, SAT English that you will be learning in the SAT coaching classes, that will help you with the English score of the 10th grade. Okay. Now, the 10th grader will go for the first attempts by the fall of the year, that is in the October, November, December. Then they go on a break for the board exam preparation. They come back in their 11th. So once, it is not a 2-year prep. It is there till the time student is saying that, okay, these are my scores, and it ends my journey.
So students can write SAT anytime?
Multiple times.
And any
no official
9th class, 10th class?
Not the 9th grade. Okay. 8th has 8th PSAT from the college board. 9th has 9th PSAT. And the 10th graders, all the international students goes for the 10th SAT in their 10th grade. Any student who is in a US or the US citizen, they can go for the NMSQT. That is a 10th PSAT with the name NMSQT because it brings them scholarship in their 10th grade itself from the universities.
Got it.
Okay, but the international students cannot sit for the NMSQT, so they do not waste up their time by giving the 10th PSAT. They go for the SAT directly, first attempt, second attempt for the improvement after their board examinations.
Okay.
Because
board examination of 10th or 12th. I'm actually a bit confused.
10th.
So the main SAT exam that leads to the admission to these colleges, can they give it in 10th standard, 11th standard?
The validity of the SAT score is 5 years.
Okay.
And the beauty is that the 10th mathematics and the SAT mathematics complements each other. Double preparation, no loss.
So usually students then give it in their 10th, 11th standard, or they give it after board exams. When they give it?
If the 10th graders is equally aware about the SAT, they take admission. They come to the 10th, they take admission in the 10th starting with us. They give the first attempt by the fall of the same year. Then they go on a break for the board examination. They come back once the 11th is there. Then they make the second attempt in the hope. See, every student goes for at least 2 attempts. 1550 student in the hope of 1570, 1570 in the hope of 1590, and 1450 wala in the hope of 1490.
So what is the highest score you have helped somebody achieve?
1590.
1590. And what he or she is doing in life today?
Abhi to applications are going
Achha,
on.
It's a recent score. Wow. Okay.
He's in school.
Great. I think we have discussed a lot. My understanding of SATs has definitely improved. I hope everybody who is watching us today, they will learn a lot, especially the parents and the students. So thanks a lot for your time. Really enjoyed talking to you and understanding about entire SATs, undergrad, IIT JEE versus SATs, and also about the Eduquest. Hope for a lot of users or students reach you looking at this podcast. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.